Hi there. Happy Monday. I'm Dr. Shiroko Sokitch, owner of Heart to Heart Medical Center and the author of the book, Healing When It Seems Impossible: 7 Keys to Defy the Odds. And today I'm going to be continuing my series of how to listen to your body. And this is the final one of this series. And today we're going to talk about finding your own unique lifestyle. And of course, listening to your body is part of the way that you're going to find your own unique lifestyle. But there's like this back and forth between the two of listening to your body and then adjusting things and finding some new thing that will help you feel better. And I'm going to list it out for you in a couple of steps called what I call fundamentals. But the first element, of course, having good health is just living your life sort of as if doing preventive care or sort of managing your health and doing things that are healthy for you because you know that they're healthy for you to do. And so I call that preventive care. Like you exercise a certain way in order to keep yourself healthy. You eat a certain way to keep yourself healthy, and you do certain things that will help you maintain your health. And so I call that preventive care. But like what happens a lot of times, especially for people who eventually develop some sort of illness and they're surprised by whatever is happening with them, is that we might not notice the more subtle signs of things beginning to be a problem. But let's say like pain is your first signal, and we talked about this in how to listen to your body. First is the most obvious signs like pain, or maybe your skin starts to develop rashes, or maybe you start having hair falling out, things like that. Those are signs that something's going on, and then finding what is going to help you make that better. And so one of the first things that I say in terms of learning to find your own unique lifestyle is because there's a lot of noise coming into our body. So I say reduce the noise. And reducing the noise means that doing, like simplifying things a lot so that you get rid of all the symptoms that you could possibly get rid of, and calm your body down so that things start to relax, and so that you can begin to feel what's going on with you. And then as you begin to feel what's going on with you, then you can begin to figure out what works. For example, a lot of people are sensitive to gluten, but they may not even know it. I was sensitive to dairy probably my whole life, and I didn't know it, but I had a chronically stuffy nose like my entire young adult life and childhood. And in fact, they wanted to take out my tonsils and adenoids because I was always congested. I could never breathe through my nose for years and years and years. And then when I went to medical school and I went to acupuncture school, I just kept like, why is my nose always stuffy? And then I did this food allergy test. Okay, it took me a long time, but I did this food allergy test to figure out what was going on. And my reaction to dairy was off the charts. Like, and it's not just the sugar in dairy. Like people do low lactose milk, and there's two kinds of proteins in dairy: whey and casein. And I was off the charts reactive to both of those. And I was also actually allergic to eggs. So, but when I cut those things out, my nose stopped being stuffy. So that was like this big miracle in terms of my own self-discovery. But that was in order to figure out what's going on. Sometimes you just have to like get rid of certain things and then figure out, okay, what is going to help you get better. And obviously these things all happened before I started doing functional medicine, where I, learned more about nutrition, because in medical school, you just don't learn about nutrition. So anyway, one of the ways that I suggest that you do reducing the noise, I always talk about doing my seasonal reboot, my cleanse. And the cool thing about that is it's very easy to do. It's a shake that you take twice a day. It's a kit you get from my office. And you do a shake twice a day, and then you do a couple of supplements with that. And then you eat a very simple diet with just vegetables and protein. So if you're vegan, you would eat some vegan protein sources. And if you're a meat eater, then you would have meat and vegetables. And it's very, very sort of minimized diet. So very little reactivity in the foods that you could possibly be eating. Although, again, there's always exceptions. And one of my patients actually is allergic to beef and chicken. And so she cannot eat those things. And it took her a while to figure that out, because that is not something that we standardly think might be a food that you'd be allergic to. But anyway, so you reduce the noise by simplifying your diet, by simplifying your lifestyle habits, and by really getting rid of certain habits so that you can see, what is affecting you. And then from there, you choose what foods might work for you. So for example, like this person who's sensitive to beef and chicken, she figured that out by eliminating those for a period of time and then figuring out, I react to those foods. Some of my other patients also say they react to meat. Other people say they react to dairy or sugar or gluten and all of those things. So you basically start by simplifying everything. It only takes a couple weeks for your body to sort of restabilize once you've gotten rid of some things. And then you can start to figure out, what's working. Then the next step after reducing the noise is, okay, there's certain things that you can never do, right? So if you react to gluten or you have celiac or let's say you were injured in a car accident and your low back is always going to be sensitive from then on, then you're not going to be able to do certain exercises that hurt your back. You're going to have to be careful with your back, or you're going to have to do certain strengthening exercises to support your back so that your back no longer bothers you. So, and there are specific exercises that will help strengthen. And I never say don't exercise. I say find the exercise that helps you get stronger and feel better. Yoga is one form of exercise that helps strengthen tissues without necessarily straining a lot of tissues. So there's different ways, again, to do things and to find those things that work for you. And it's not something that has to take up forever and ever in your life. You can slowly add things in. And I view myself as always on a journey of discovery for my health, so that I am always looking for what do I need to do at different times. When I was in my early 40s, I did a lot of kickboxing, and I loved it because it was high energy and really high intensity. And then my body said it didn't like it anymore. After I had a car accident that injured my low back, I could not do kickboxing anymore because it would throw out my sacrum. So then I started doing different things. Like I did bar for a while, and then I did yoga for a while, and Pilates. So there's always different ways to do things in order to help support your body in the way that it wants to be supported. For me, recently, my body loves yoga and some strengthening exercises and being outside and taking hikes and taking walks and things like that. Oh, and my very favorite thing actually is dance. And that I've recently discovered is that I can dance for 3 hours, and my back and my, pains that I would normally have from over exercising, I don't get. So that is really, really fun because I have a whole new form of exercise that I can enjoy. And that's what I invite you to do, is to experiment, to find what your body loves and to do that thing. So the fourth key, or the fourth fundamental in learning to find your own unique lifestyle, in Chinese medicine, we always say everything in moderation. And so with the caveat that if you're allergic to something, no amount of that thing is going to be okay. Like if you have celiac, no amount of gluten is going to be okay. If you're allergic to dairy and it gives you migraines, that's a common thing, that you get migraines from dairy, or you have chronic stuffy nose from dairy. Well, actually, everybody actually gets a little bit of a stuffy nose or stuffiness from dairy because it is a mucus-containing food. But in Chinese medicine, we say everything in moderation, so that you build a lifestyle of enjoying your life as much as you do thinking about your health. So there might be some guilty pleasures that you have, or some treats that you love to enjoy. It's okay to enjoy those things on small levels. It's not going to be healthy for you to drink wine every single day. It's not going to be healthy to eat sugar every single day. You have to find ways to incorporate those things into your life, and to create pleasure in your lifestyle and in your life, because you want to have fun at the same time that you don't overdo it in order to hurt yourself in any way. So over-exercising is, it's a Chinese medicine. We say too much food, too much exercise. Overdoing anything is not particularly healthy. So you eat the right amount of food, eat the right kinds of food in the style that feels good to you, and then exercise in the same way. Exercise enough, but not too much. And then there's another element that I think is very important in terms of finding your own unique lifestyle, and that is being flexible. Because as we age, or as we change certain elements, like let's say you got a divorce, and then you might start eating entirely differently, because maybe you no longer eat at home, or you maybe no longer cook your food at home. And so then you have to figure out, how do you get healthy food if you don't feel like cooking? Or how do you exercise if you've injured your knee? Things like that. So just thinking about what has happened and how are you going to maintain your health throughout your life. It requires that you be willing to change as you go. And again, for me, in my early 40s, I was able to do kickboxing, and then I was, doing Pilates, and I loved bar class for about a year. But then again, too much, certain kinds of exercise were hard on my knees. So I had to change again. So being willing to change as you go. And I'm lucky I get bored pretty easily, so I always have to change something. But I invite you to think about, well, what would work for you now, where you are in your life, and are you willing to change to make that happen? And then the last element of learning to find your own unique lifestyle is having the right attitude. And again, as we change, we have to change things. I am a person who loves chocolate, and I've told you all this many, many times, but in my love of chocolate, I have recently found out that there's cadmium in a lot of the chocolates, and especially some of the organic ones have a high level of cadmium. And you can look this up. There's a website called consumerlabs.com if you're a chocolate lover like I am. And cadmium can cause toxicity in your body if you get too much of it. So again, I had to change my behavior and not eat chocolate anymore, because I was realizing that it was causing pain in my spine. And so I had to cut it out. And that was a big, sad day for me. But recognizing that I want to be healthy more than I want to eat chocolate was the thing that I had to do for myself. And so I had to adjust my attitude and change a habit that I had come to love. So I hope that is helpful to you, and that if you have any questions, please post them in the chat or in the comments, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you so much.